Hello! Today I'm going to talk about The View from Sunday. I had never heard of this book before, but it is a pretty good book for a young reader. I'm teaching in Korea, and one of the things that Korea doesn't have much understanding of is how much of a big part of American culture religion is. Part of the way this writer put together the characters was that there's a Jewish character that's very Jewish, and they talk about Yiddish, and I would find it a very unusual if a student of mine could get past this big gap, this big empty gap of information. I would find that pretty amazing. They would have to do some research to figure out what is being talked about here. And because the cultures are so different, the coloring of one of the main characters, I think, would be lost on my students. I don't think they could understand how the character is built. And this book it's a little bit about diversity, so that's something that in Korea they don't really talk that much about, I think. Even as an adult ESL reader, this would not be the first book that I would read in English, because I think it would be hard to understand the character buildup. If you end up picking up this book, I would say stick with it until page 5. Get past the first little part about the teacher and get to reading about the student, and see if reading about the students captures your imagination. Noah writes a B&B letter. My mother insisted that I write a B&B letter to my grandparents. I told her that I could not write a B&B letter, and she asked me why, and I told her that I did not know what a B&B letter was. She explained, not too patiently, that a B&B letter is a bread and butter letter you write to people to thank them for having you as their house guest. I told her that I was taught never to use the word you are defining in its definition, and that she ought to think of a substitute word for letter if she is defining it. Mother then made a remark about how Western civilization was in decline because people of my generation knew how to nitpick, but not how to write a B&B letter. I told her that, with all due respect, I did not think I owed Grandma and Grandpa a B&B letter. And then I stated my case. Fact. I was not just a house guest. I was family. In fact, I had not been their house guest by choice because, fact, she had sent me to them because she had won a cruise selling more houses in Epiphany than anyone else in the world, and if she had shared her cruise with Joey and me instead of with her husband, my father, I would not have been sent to Florida in the first place. In fact, she, not me, owed them thanks, and further fact, I had been such a wonderful help while I was there that Grandma and Grandpa would probably want to write me a B&B letter. My brother Joey had been sent to my other set of grandparents who lived in a normal suburb in Connecticut. Is Joey writing a B&B to Grandma and Grandpa Eberl? Even as we speak, Mother replied. Well, maybe he has something to be thankful for, I said. Mother drew in her breath as if she were about to say something else about what children of my generation were doing to Western civilization, but instead she said, right, and closed my bedroom door behind me. I opened the door and called out to her, can I use the computer? She said, I know you can use the computer, Noah, but you may not. I was about to make a remark about who was nitpicking now, but Mother gave me such a negative look that I knew any thoughts I had better be about bread and butter and not nitpicking. I gazed at my closed bedroom door and then out the window. Door, window, door, window. There was no escape. As you can see, the writing is a little bit more complicated. It's a lot about what's not being said, so I would suggest higher level students, older students, and adults, not children.